treasurer takes a vacation every 6 months or so, so a new person can come in and look at the books, and that way, that's how issues, accounting issues are caught. But with your question about what types of forgery cases have been on the increase with this economy, a lot of employees of businesses are embezzling money with using forgery. There always has been that issue to some level, but now more so, especially with the creative bookkeeping practices. I mentioned a little bit about mortgage fraud. There's a lot of that going on, especially with a lot of the foreclosures. People are trying to get their homes refinanced. There's also and I'm sorry, please, Leslie, you can help me with this. When someone's elderly and, is it called mortgage reversal? All of a sudden I'm drawing a blank, where you're able to use your home mortgage to pay you a monthly stipend so you can live. Do you know what I'm talking about, Leslie?
Yeah, I'm vaguely aware of that practice. Yes. I do know that it happens. I don't particularly understand it, to be quite honest with you.
For some reason, I'm drawing a blank to the term right now. I don't know why. I thought you could help me. But also, there's a lot of elderly financial fraud going on.
Reverse mortgage, I think, is what you're talking about.
Thank you, reverse mortgage. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. Thank you. But there, like I said, elderly financial fraud. There are lots of members of the family taking advantage of other members in the family. It used to be that people were pinpointing outside caretakers as people who are taking money from the people that they are supposed to be taking care of and protecting. But nowadays, I'm seeing a lot of people in your family, in the family, rewriting wills, creating quitclaim deeds, which will give ownership to that person that fills out the form, and when Granny did not intend for them to have the house. But it's real frightening that the people that you have to be afraid of are the ones that are closest to you, that you live closest to. But there's so much of that right now.
It is. That's really unfortunate, too. I agree. Someone in the chat room is asking, and I know that what you're going to say, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. Can you tell by handwriting if someone is lying or not?
I don't do that. There's a study recently that someone, I think it's only 2 weeks new, that someone said that they are able to tell whether someone is lying from their handwriting. There's another area of handwriting that I don't deal with at all. It's graphology, and what graphologists do is that they're able to look at someone's handwriting and interpret what that person's personality is. I don't do that. So that's an area that's out of my realm of expertise.
Right. So would you, in your professional, what is your opinion on it? Is that something that you feel is true?
I haven't seen the exact studies with the most recent case where someone said that they were able to tell. I think it had to do with the speed of their handwriting. So I guess they have to hook you up with wires to your hands, and I'm not sure where else to your brain to measure that. But so I don't know about that. I haven't seen the exact way that was how that study was done. With regards to graphology, a lot of people say that they don't believe in graphology, but they haven't been exposed to it in order to make a correct determination. I can say that I know some people who do it. I've looked at a few books, and it's not for me. It doesn't work for me. It's not an area I'm interested in. So, but it seems to work for other people.
Right, I understand. Plagiarism, I want to ask you a little bit about that. Plagiarism, that falls under your expertise, wouldn't it? And if it does, how would you prove a case of plagiarism?
Oh, you're really hitting close to home with that one. Actually, I was a victim of copyright infringement. And so I do deal with cases that have to do with plagiarism that involve handwriting identification, not because someone signed something, but in my case, I had to sue another handwriting expert. This handwriting expert and her publisher took my work and published it. And I'm by my work, I mean my handwriting exhibits in the John Benet Ramsey civil case. This handwriting, I'm sorry?
Go ahead. Yes, I was just agreeing, yes.
And this other handwriting expert said that she had gone through the United States Secret Service document course, and you can only take this course if you've worked for law enforcement or if you know someone in law enforcement that will sponsor you. This course no longer exists, but at that time you had to know people to get into this course. And obviously she had the connections to do so. But the course is approximately, the introductory course is 10 days, and as I said, it's introductory. And then there's a follow-up course that they can take 2 years later, and that's a 7-day course, I believe. And no one can really become an expert in document examination or any forensic discipline in 17 days, much less 30 days. But those were the credentials that she advertised. But she published a book that was mostly on graphology, as we mentioned earlier, telling someone's personality from their handwriting, and she was teaching people in her book how they could do that. And all the chapters in her book, except for 3 of the chapters, related to forensic document examination. And one of the forensic document examination chapters had to do with the John Benet Ramsey case. And how I found out about this is that I received a call from a colleague of mine who was watching the Bill O'Reilly show. And she said, there's a handwriting expert lady on there, and she said that she worked on the John Benet Ramsey case, and she figured out who wrote the ransom note, and she held up some visual charts showing a comparison between the ransom note writing and Patsy Ramsey's writing, and I believe it's your work. And I had difficulty believing that because the John Benet Ramsey civil case was sealed by the court. No one can get into that file. So I was able to find a Borders bookstore that had a copy of this woman's book, and I opened the book in the store, and very first page of the John Benet Ramsey chapter, I saw the ransom note, and as I went on, I saw the first page of my comparison charts. And I was quite stunned, to say the least. And I thought, well, maybe it's only a few pages of my work, but I still couldn't understand where this woman got it from. And as I kept flipping each page onto the next page, I ended up seeing all 44 pages of my work in this woman's chapter.
Wow.
And I just felt the blood rush out of my head and into my feet, and I'm lucky I didn't pass out in the bookstore. But the hardest part was I hired an attorney to sue this author and her publisher for copyright infringement. And not only did I have to prove that it was that she copied my work, but I had to prove that it was specifically my work. So someone can she can just say, "Oh, well, I did an analysis and I came up with the exact conclusion as you did. I just happened to pick all the exact letters and word combinations and point to the same things as you did." But I found that with my exhibits, there was when I made a copy of the ransom note, I had a defect in the drum of my photocopier at that time, which left a little hole in a letter, and I can't remember what letter, but we'll just say W. In a W, there was a hole in it, and that was not, and you could not see that on any other copy of the ransom note